As a coalition, public understanding and support is vital to the work that, like cathedrals, stretches indefinitely into the future. But that doesn't make it a distant dream. Epidemics emerge at imperfect times, putting the organization to the test. But preparedness demonstrates how far and how much better we can think about the long term when we abandon dependency on prediction and accept uncertainty. Much of this thinking grew out of the Ebola crisis of 2015-16, which had presented a paradox. The response had been successful. For the first time in history, an effective vaccine was developed in the midst of an epidemic. But it had also failed. Doing so had taken too long, costing more than 12,000 lives. The question for Seppi and for Hatchett was, what could be put in place ahead of an epidemic to accelerate an effective response whenever, wherever it was needed? At the very heart of Seppi was an acknowledgement that prediction would not be the answer, but preparedness could be. Vaccines, says Hatchett, are the be-all and end-all of epidemic responsiveness. But developing candidates is expensive and slow. The first Ebola vaccine was in development in 2003, tested in monkeys in 2005, but then stalled because with outbreaks so sporadic it was impossible to test it. But the fact that the process hadn't had to be started from scratch accounted for the signal success of ending the 2015-16 epidemic. It would be prohibitively expensive to develop vaccines for every possible disease, so Seppi chose to focus on 3 kinds of diseases that pose the biggest risk and where a successful vaccine is most likely: MERS, Lassa, and Nipah. We are playing roulette, Hatchett acknowledged, but we have to put our money down somewhere. Lassa is endemic in Africa and has 300,000 cases a year. Nipah is just a very scary disease with a very wide geographic dispersion spread by bats. And we feel like the world has put us on notice that we have to deal with beta coronaviruses like MERS and SARS because they have pandemic potential. Each disease requires 3 to 6